Hello students, today we are going to start our new topic, circles. This is your 10th chapter. Let's discuss about the circles. Otherwise we have studied it in our junior classes also. But today we are going to recall this topic. It's given to you. This is a circle. What is a circle? The collection of all the points in a plane which are at a fixed distance from a fixed point. This fixed point is called the center of the circle, and this fixed distance is called the radius of the circle. So he is saying if we have the collection of all the points in a plane which are at a fixed distance from a fixed point. This is the fixed point, the center of the circle, and we are having a fixed distance everywhere of all these points from this fixed point, then it is called a circle. Now in the circle we are having three parts. This is called the interior part. This is called on the circle, and this is called the exterior part of the circle. Got it? So now we are going to talk about all these three parts, that which are all the three parts will be there on the circle, or you can say it circle also. Okay, so let's talk. If we are having the points inside the circle, then as like if I take 2 points on the circles like this, then they are constructing a chord. Okay, and if I am having this point inside, then interior point is there the circle, or you can get the other points also in the interior. Clear? Exterior, which is exactly outside of the circle, and these points are called on the circle. The longest chord which is passing through the center and it intersects this circle at the 2 points. This is the longest chord of the circle, is called the diameter. The radius we know very well. The radius is the half of the diameter, and it is the distance from the center to any point on the circle. Now we are having the arc. What is the arc? A piece of the circle. A piece of the circle we can say is called the arc of the circle. As like if I am having these 2 points on the circle and I show them by this arc, then I have this one arc, and the one I have this one also. So what is the difference in these two? This is the smaller part, so this is called the minor arc, and this is the major part, so this is called the major arc of the circle. Clear? Now if we have the 2 points exactly of the diameter, then it is called the semicircle. Semicircle, whether I talk about this part or this part, these both the parts are equal to each other, and these are called the semicircles. Now if I join the points of this arc, then I have got 2 parts of this circle. One I got this part, and one I got this one part. The part with the major arc and the part with the minor arc and the part with the major arc. So this part is called the minor segment, and the part which is drawn with the major arc, this is called the major segment. I hope it is clear to you. Now one more topic we have. Exactly, again I am taking the circle, and if I take these 2 points of the arc, but now I am not joining these 2 points. I am joining these points with the center of the circle. If I join them with the center of the circle, then this part which has been drawn with the minor arc, this part is called minor sector. And this leftover part which is being drawn with the major arc, that is called the major sector. So I am talking again about these all the points we have done the first thing we have done about the minor arc and the major arc. Then if I have drawn a chord with the minor arc, then the part which has been drawn with the minor arc, that is called the minor segment, and this major part is called the major segment. If I join the points of the arc with the center of the circle, then this is called the minor sector and this is called the major sector. So these were the points. Now exercise 10.1 is simple and easy. These fill in the blanks and true and false you will do on your own. Let's come to the next exercise. Let's come to the theorem 10.1. Theorem 10.1 says equal chords of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. Equal chords of a circle. If I have a circle and in this circle I have two equal chords. Equal chords means the length of the chords are equal, as suppose both the chords are of 3 centimeter. Okay. So he is saying, in the theorem he says that equal chords of a circle, it means given that AB and CD are equal to each other, then we need to prove the equal chords of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. So this is our center. This chord is drawing this angle and this chord is drawing this angle. So we need to prove that angle AOB is equal to angle COD. So let's see how to prove it. You need to take these two triangles. In triangle AOB and triangle COD, what do you have? I think we have, these are the radii. OA is equal to OC, exactly the same. OB is also equal to OD, and the next thing is given to you that AB is equal to CD. So obviously our triangle AOB is congruent to triangle COD. If we have these two triangles congruent by SSS you can say, then obviously they are drawing the equal angles at the center. Sometimes students are doing the mistake, they are taking them vertically opposite angle, but it is not necessary that these two will be like this chords and they will intersect. The chord can be like this also, it can be drawn here also, it can be drawn anywhere else, here also, like this. Okay, then they will be not the vertically opposite angle, so they will be equal, and only they will be equal when we are having these chords length equal, then only you can prove them congruent by SSS, and then we will say yes, these angles are equal. So we have done the theorem that equal chords of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. Now theorem 10.2 says absolutely converse of this. He says if the angles subtended by the chords are equal to each other, then the chords are equal to each other. So obviously it will be done again exactly the same. We will follow the procedure, but now this given and to prove is changed. This is given to you and this we need to prove. So what we will do, we will take again these two triangles. In these two triangles they will be radii, and at the place of this we will take here angle AOB is equal to angle COD given. So what we can say? We can say by SAS the triangles are congruent, so AB is equal to CD by CPC. This is done, theorem 10.2. Now come to your exercise 10.2. And the exercise 10.2, the first question is given to you. Recall that the two circles are congruent if they have the same radii. This is actually we have done already in our junior classes, that two circles are called congruent if we are having the equal radii. If we are having the equal radius of two circles, as like you have these two circles and their radius are 3 and 3 centimeter or 2 and 2 centimeter, then these circles will be congruent, means you will draw the same circles only. Okay, so he is saying if we are having two congruent circles, prove that the equal chords of congruent circles subtend equal angles at their center. It is absolutely the same proof, just only the difference. Now we are having as like this and this, these two chords, whether you have these two chords, but now also you will take the center, you will join them, you will take these two triangles, and then you will say this radii is equal, this radius is equal, and this is already given equal. Okay, so again by SSS triangles will be congruent, and the second question is absolutely same like this theorem. Let's come to the theorem 10.3. Theorem 10.3 says the perpendicular from the center of a circle to a chord bisects the chord. Theorem 10.3, the perpendicular from the center of a circle. If we are having a circle and if we draw a perpendicular from the center of the circle, this is an important theorem. It will be used in the 10th standard also. The perpendicular from the center of the circle to a chord bisects the chord. I hope it is understood. He is saying it's given to you that OC is perpendicular on AB, where O is the center of the circle, and we need to prove here that this bisects the chord. It means AC and BC are equal to each other. So what you need to do, you need to join these. After joining, take these two triangles. In these two triangles, OA is equal to OB as the radii. OC and OC is common, and this is already given right angles. So by RHS, the triangles are congruent. If the triangles are congruent, then obviously by CPCT, AC is equal to BC. This is very simple proof. Now theorem 10.4. The theorem 10.4 says the line drawn through the center of a circle. The converse of this theorem, he is saying the line drawn through the center of a circle to bisect a chord is perpendicular to the chord. This is the center, and he is saying if we join the midpoint with the center, then we need to prove that it will 90 degree. What you need to do it? Let's take in triangle AOM and triangle BOM. AO is equal to OB as radii. Then OM is equal to OM common. And the next thing, AM is equal to BM given. He has given that this is the bisecting point, or you can say the middle point of AB. Clear? So AM is equal to BM. So by this, what we can say, by SSS, the triangle AOM is congruent to triangle BOM by SSS. If these two are congruent with each other, then I can say this angle 1 is equal to angle 2 by CPCT. If you have these two angles equal to each other, and we know that they are making the linear pair, angle 1 plus angle 2 equal to 180 degree, I can replace any name. As the 2 I can write as 1. So it will be twice of 1 is equal to 180. It implies angle 1 is equal to 180 upon 2, 90 degree. And the angle 1 and angle 2 will be equal to each other. Both will be of 90 degree. This was the proof. Now students, listen to me. Example 1. Okay, this we will discuss later. Today you need to do till here only. Then we will discuss later the exercise 10.3. Thank you and have a nice day.